In Hindu mythology, while Shiva heralds fame for being the god of destruction and creation, it is neglectful to consider him without the influence of his wife, Parvati. Originally, Shiva is lovingly devoted to his wife, Sati. When Sati ends her own life, however, Shiva is so devastated that he flees from the world to meditate in solitude. The other gods look upon this with worry, not simply for Shiva's own sake, but due to an expectation that Shiva is to father a powerful warrior. They make it their goal to draw Shiva from his cave of solace, naturally, by tempting him with another lover. For this, they consult with the mother goddess Shakti, who agrees to reincarnate. Thus, Parvati, the goddess of beauty, is born to the mountain Himalaya. Parvati takes to Shiva's cave, trying to earn his affection by quietly caring for him, bringing him fruit, decorating the cave with floral adornments, and cleaning his home. She tends to him like a servant, doing her best to mend his broken heart. Despite this, Shiva, lost in meditation, does not so much as glance her way. Still persistent, Parvati calls for the help of Kama, god of love, who tries to tempt Shiva by shooting him with arrows of desire. The attempt fails, as Shiva retaliates by opening his third eye and reducing Kama to dust. It is through this failure that Parvati realizes she must win Shiva's heart by appealing to his interests, by showing his same dedication to meditation. She must rid herself of bodily desires as self-discipline. To do so, she retreats to the forest and meditates naked in the presence of chaotic weather. She refuses to eat, dedicating herself to her ascetic lifestyle to the same severity as the man she yearns to marry. Her efforts pay off. Shiva, impressed by her devotion, takes her as his wife. In apology for his prior behavior, Shiva restores Kama from the dust. They share their days exchanging philosophy and playing games in the kingdom of Kalyasa, atop the mountain at the center of the universe. Her wifely devotion to Shiva reinvigorates his interest in the world. Together, they appease the other gods by passing Shiva's seed to birth their warrior son, Kumara. Beyond this, various incidents further develop their life together. One day, Parvati wishes to bathe, even though her household attendants are not around to guard her. Resourcefully, she crafts the form of a boy from turmeric paste, infusing it with life to birth Ganesha. She instructs Ganesha to keep others out of their house. Dutifully, he obeys, perhaps too strictly. When Shiva returns home, Ganesha blocks his path. Being kept from entering his own house, Shiva becomes enraged and severs Ganesha's head with the use of his trident, Trishula. The commotion alarms Parvati, who rushes out to find Ganesha's headless body. Horrified, Parvati chides her husband, explaining that he has just killed their son. In his shame, Shiva ventures out to find a new head, claiming the first replacement he comes across. He returns with the head of a young elephant and uses it to resurrect Ganesha. While not considered a goddess of war, Parvati shows strength in her ability to tame Shiva's anger. In the presence of her father, Shiva once tries to deny his hospitality and leave early. To stop her husband, Parvati creates the 10 fierce Mahavidyas, 10 separate forms of herself to surround him. The forms derived from Parvati, including Kali and Durga, are often wild and assertive. That said, Parvati herself is usually a gentle and tolerant family goddess who people turn to for help in matters of marriage and fertility. When her two attendants, Dakini and Varnini, come to her begging for food, Parvati uses her own nails to behead herself and gift her blood to them to sate their hunger. Her caring generosity makes it ignorant to worship the likes of Shiva without giving her credit. A proper example of this can be seen when gods and demons churn the primeval ocean to obtain Amrita, the nectar of immortality. They use Mount Mandara as a churning pole and the serpent Vaski as their string. On a grand scale, they churn the ocean, accidentally releasing a dangerous poison on the universe. To halt the poison's spread, Shiva attempts to swallow it entirely. Rushing to protect her husband, Parvati grasps his throat and prevents the poison from seeping into his body. Instead, it swells in his throat, turning it blue. As a result of her devotion and many feats during their marriage, Parvati is well regarded among Indian deities, allowing her to be recorded into the throne of heroes. The likes of Durga and Kali, while they emerge from Parvati's divine essence, ultimately carry separate saint graphs. Of course, a saint graph alone is unable to contain the tremendous strength of a divine spirit. If she is to be summoned as a heroic spirit, she must do so in the vessel of a mortal as a pseudo-servant. When such summons occur, deities often claim vessels of a similar wavelength to their own. Sakura Mato, a mage descendant of the Tosaka lineage, is more than compatible. Given that a mage's magic crest is typically only transferred from one mage to another, Sakura's father, Tokiomi Tosaka, decides to make her sister Rin the family heir. So as to not waste a perfectly healthy mage, Tokiomi gives Sakura over to the struggling Mato family. As a Mato, she is subjected to their nightmarish crestworm magecraft and repeatedly abused by her adoptive brother Shinji. Her only solace comes from falling in love with her classmate Shiro and devoting herself to a peaceful life at his residence. She becomes the ideal traditional housewife, making her a perfect fit for Parvati's grace. Thus, when the Chaldea Security Organization calls upon heroic spirits to protect the human order, Parvati is summoned under Master Ritsuka Fujimaru, inhabiting the body of Sakura Mato, merging with her more virtuous traits. In Chaldea, Parvati earns a reputation for being the Kohai of Light, loyally serving Ritsuka from the sidelines. She even manages to reunite with her child, Ganesha, and acts as a strict mother within the facility. While Parvati is both gentle and weak on a physical front, the strength of her heart is very capable. Even without reciprocation, her love urges her to burn her divinity, turning it into fighting power. In battle, Parvati fights using her husband's trident, Trishula, with each tip containing Shiva's power of creation and destruction. She can release its might for her noble phantasm, Trishula Shakti, knowing what is love and refusing to love, that is antipathy. While it lacks the same might it would have in Shiva's hands, it allows her to protect herself and others. In addition to Trishula, Parvati borrows another of her husband's possessions, the holy bull Nandi, who once served as Shiva's gatekeeper and vehicle. Though Nandi is a bull presiding over good harvests and isn't particularly strong, he does allow Parvati the ability to manifest in the rider class. In Chaldea, Nandi accompanies Parvati, offering both guidance and criticism. Ironically, Parvati's greatest adventure with Ritsuka occurs after Chaldea confronts its fourth lost belt, Yuga Kshetra. The ordeal ushered in by Arjuna Altar manages to have a profound effect on the lost belt's Indian gods. The most severe side effect hits none other than Kama, the god of love. Within Kama is a connection to the Buddhist demon Mara. While Mara's presence in Kama is normally suppressed, the aftermath of the Lost Belt, the incineration of gods by Shiva's third eye, leads Mara to gain significant power. As a result, Kama begins transforming into the beast 3L, consumed by a desire to satisfy the universe with her love in a manner similar to that of Kiara Sesshoin. Sakura Mato, as much as she is a loving wifely woman, she also contains an aspect of evil, the part of her that resents the world for her suffering at the hands of the Mato. When burdened by these thoughts, even Sakura's love for Shiro becomes a violent, selfish pursuit. Just as Parvati inhabits Sakura's good side to become a pseudo-servant, Kama inhabits her evil side. To avoid the counterforce, Kama searches human history for a place to hide while she completes her transformation, and finds an opportunity in Edo Castle during the reign of the Tokugawa shogunate. Lady Kasuga, a prominent female politician of the time, is dying from failing health and yearns to live on so she can continue to support the shogunate. Perhaps her greatest contribution is the establishment of the Oku, or women's quarters, a section of the castle made exclusive to the shogun and his harem. Kama senses Lady Kasuga's plea and infiltrates the Oku, offering her body to Tokugawa Iemitsu. When he is her captive, she claims his soul and follows his karmic threads to claim the souls of everyone in the castle, including past shoguns. Reaching even further, Kama targets Chaldea and consumes its staff to bait Ritsuka to her newly created singularity. She uses all of these souls to transform the Oku into a 6-floor labyrinth, with one exception. During the assault, Parvati resists Kama's karmic threads and offers to share her own spirit graph with Lady Kasuga so that she can help resolve the ordeal. Ritsuka ray-shifts to Edo Castle and teams up with Parvati and Kasuga. Together, they fight their way through the distorted Oku. When the group finally confronts Kama, Lady Kasuga takes back control of the Oku and returns it to its original form. Parvati fights against Kama and helps defeat her with a strike from Trishula Shakti. With the singularity resolved, Parvati separates from Kasuga and returns to Chaldea. Of all of India's legendary heroes and gods, and all the impact they have on humanity, Parvati, fueled by her love for Shiva, remains a reliable companion to Ritsuka in the human order.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this channel, help me beat the algorithm by liking, commenting, and sharing the video, subscribing to OtakuDaiKun, and most of all, smashing that notification bell as if it were your waifu. That way you'll never miss out on all of my anime content, lore videos, live streams, and Holy Waifu Wars polls. My vids are struggling to get featured, so that bell is absolutely critical. If you want to support me directly, check out my Patreon, or consider donating via Super Chat. And as always, celebrate your fandom.